Hi guys, welcome back. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about JSTL tags, and that stands for the JSP Standard Tag Library. So you will be a little bit confused about why we would use the JSP syntax, which was, this little syntax here, right? So we used that just to review a little bit. In the last lesson, we used it as something like this. You could write for loops, you could write if statements, you can write plenty of Java-like syntax within these little tags here. Same with being able to print some values on the page. So that's very useful for some heavy Java logic. But for most of the logic we're going to use, we can actually use these JSTL tags. So they look a lot more like HTML. They have a lot of functionality. Of course, if you want to do something really complicated in your template, probably don't want to anyway, then you can go back and use the JSP template syntax. Okay, so what we're mainly going to be using these JSTL tags for is to dynamically populate your HTML pages, right? So far, we've really only created static HTML. So the values couldn't change. So let's say you go to ESPN and they always had the exact same matches from, I don't know, 1998. It wouldn't be a very effective website, right? So when we say dynamically render, we mean that when you go to the page, it's updated information. So at some point in the request, it's gonna ask for some resources. And when we return it, we're actually gonna make eventually a call to the database, which will be passed back to the server. And from the server, specifically in your controller, you can take whatever information is there that you pulled from the database and then also populate your HTML with it. Right, so the first tag we're going to use is this cout tag. So the way this looks is, let's say I wanted to just print some math to the page, some basic math. Maybe I'll say 2 plus 2 is, and then for my cout tag, of course I could just say 4, right? But but if we wanted to be dynamic, maybe later we'll do a different total. Who knows? We're going to do this cout tag. So again, we have to have this import at the top here, right? And then after that, it's going to have a tag name, which is just cout. And actually this tag can be a self-closing tag. And for here to actually print a value to the page, you'll have to give it an attribute value. And then just like you would attributes for any HTML tag, you're going to give it some quotes here. And then in between those quotes, you can put the value. So in this case, we can actually use valid mathematical operations and things like that. So in between these little quotes, in order for it to actually pull some value, you need this $sign and then these curly brackets, right? Otherwise, it's going to read this as a string literal, right? So it'll just print hello. So if we actually want to use a value from, let's say, our controller, or just do some basic math, we have to use those $sign curly brackets. Cool. Okay, let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm already running it. So let's go see what it looks like. Did I save? Okay, good to check. All right. Localhost 8080. And as expected, 2 plus 2 is 4. Right on. Not super exciting, but we did use a cout tag. So the other case that I was talking about is if you want to render dynamic information from your controller onto the page. So this is where it gets a little bit more fun, right? Oh, I should do a fruit page. All right. So the fruit of the day. So maybe your fruit wants to change every day. Maybe today you like papaya, tomorrow you like banana, the next day you like kiwi, and day never you like durian. I don't like durian, but maybe rarely. Okay, so in any case, so now what we can do is if we want to send in a variable from here all the way over to here, we're just going to put the variable name in here. So I'll presumably have some variable inside of here called fruit, and I'm going to pass it over. Now, we will go over how to do that in a later lesson, but I'm just going to put in the code now. I'm sure you can rewind this video and watch in slow-mo if you like, but we will go over it. All right. So I'm going to give it the name of fruit, which matches this. And then I have to give it a value. So in this case, I will give it the value of banana. So I'm feeling like a banana today. Okay, so let's see what it does now. Banana. Very good. All right, so that's it. Have fun with us. We'll be going more into it later.